everybody. Welcome to ABA Inside Track, the podcast that's like reading in your car, but safer. I'm your host, Robert Perry Cruz, with only one of my fabulous co-hosts today.
Hi, I'm Jackie.
Diana unfortunately could not be here, for as we started recording, one of our children had a giant accident. So she volunteered to deal with that while we finished recording the episode. So oh, well, it's been kind of a season for illnesses and various scheduling changes. So we haven't done one of these previews in a little while. We're a little rusty. But the episodes themselves, I think, are still quality. But I think some of these other extra things we don't do as often are a little trickier. But anyway, this isn't a podcast about garbage that we have to deal with and scheduling problems. This is a podcast about behavior analysis and behavior analytic research. Every week we pick a topic and discuss related articles on that topic, sort of like an old-fashioned journal club with your friends from grad school.
I'm your friend.
We're happy to be your friends, of course, yes. And this week is no exception. We'll be doing that. And the topic, in case you were interested, is joint attention. So next week, we'll have our full-length episode out, and we'll be discussing 3 articles on joint attention. If you'd like to read them ahead of time, or just know the citations so you can read them after listening to the episode, why don't we tell you what they are, won't we?
Diana loves joint attention, by the way.
Diana loves joint attention.
This was her topic. She was excited about it.
She's here for the actual episode itself. She's just not here for the preview part of it.
Right.
So don't worry. She'll be here to tell you plenty about joint attention. Our 3 articles are Teaching Discrimination of Adult Gaze Direction to Children with Autism by Klein, MacDonald, Vaillancourt, Ahearn, and Dube from Research in Autism Spectrum Disorders, 2009. Teaching Children with Autism to Respond to and Initiate Bids for Joint Attention by Taylor and Hoch from the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis, 2008. And one of Diana's personal favorites, An Operant Approach to Teaching Joint Attention Skills to Children with Autism by Isaksen and Holth from Behavioral Interventions, 2009. 3 articles. Yes, very exciting.
Yeah. Cool. I'm excited to talk about it. It's fun.
We haven't done joint attention, which again is when people think, I think of behavior analysis, they think of children with autism and they think joint attention. And we have really waited all the way until our 70s of episodes to tackle the topic.
Tackle the topics of our faves.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Uh-oh. It sounds like things are getting crazy in the rest of the household during our quick recording time. So let's move into errata. That's the section of the podcast, our preview podcast, where we discuss goings on in the field and sometimes we read some emails. So Jackie, take it away.
Yeah, so before I read some emails from our listeners, I want to give a shout out to the Behavior Analyst Leadership Council Conference. This is a conference that's held every year in Connecticut. This year, it's on March 28th and 29th. I went to they call it the Bulk. I went to the Bulk conference last year, and it was so much fun, and I learned so much. So I would encourage everyone to go. Last year, they had 600 attendees, and usually people from New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island
cool states
come. Yeah. So I think that it would be really cool if you are looking for a smaller conference that's close to home. This is a really great conference that you should think about that you might not necessarily have known about.
Sounds like fun. I think I've had some emails from them.
Yeah. So they always have really good speakers. So that's always a nice thing.
Beautiful.
Another thing that I wanted to share with you guys was a listener sent us a message and said that it was nice because they said, just wanted you to know that your contribution to behavior analysis are more vast than you realize. They try every opportunity to plug our podcast because it's a great sort of information, and it's nice to know that there's behavior analysts out there that care about dissemination to our field. And sometimes it's nice to have those, right? So I wrote back and I was like, thanks for saying that, because I was just thinking about quitting and being a dog walker.
I think you shared that with us after one of our recording sessions, and it was a good one. But again, sometimes it's late at night when we finish recording these. It's something we do in our free time. Usually, it's not when our children are awake to have accidents that need to be cleaned up. So yeah, so it was really kind of like
was nice.
Packing up all the wires, and Jackie shared it, and it was just really really sweet and made us feel very like, all right, well, good. What a great way to end the evening. It was really really positive. So thank you very much.
Thanks for sharing that. And also know that, it's not always, so easy for us. And when I said, thanks for bringing this up to me because, I was thinking about being a dog walker and just leaving ABA behind. And he's like, that's actually really reassuring reassuring to hear, because I think sometimes we forget that, our job's hard.
It is a hard job. Everyone's job. Anything in
everyone's job is hard.
Behavior analysis. Everyone's job is hard to some extent, but yeah.
And we all have those days, so, just keep propping each other up as much as you can and, disseminating behavior analysis as much as you can. So thanks for that. I thought that was, it was nice to hear.
Mm-hmm. And then we want to say to those of you who are listening to our show, thank you. You are someone who takes your job super seriously. You are listening to a podcast, meaning that you are taking probably a device you mostly use for fun, your phone, and putting something on it that, while we try to make enjoyable, at the end of the day is, somewhat of a lecture on research articles, but you're trying to find ways to keep honing your craft in any way you can. And we're glad that we can be a part of you making yourself, stay up on the literature. That's why we started the show. And anyone who listens to us, we want you to know that you are really looking out for the best interest of every client you work with by finding any way you can to learn more. So good job.
And to highlight that, we had an email from listener Laura, and she said that she had just started out with a new client who was recently diagnosed with ASD and had a long history of refusing to comply with almost any or all demands if there was either teacher or parent. And she listened to our episode on pre-session pairing with Amanda Kelly, and she said that was the exact perspective that she needed to hear. And so they introduced demands very similar to what we discussed about in the study that we reviewed, and they had really awesome results. So that's really nice to hear too, that you've contacted literature because you've listened to us, and then you could actually find that article and then help your client out. So cool. Thanks for letting us know.
Very cool. That's episode 6. If you have not heard that one, that's oldie
but goodie.
Episode. We were young, so it was old like now.
Yeah, and Behavior Babe does now have her own little podcast.
Oh, really?
Yep. So she just has, you can't get it for CEs right now, but it's just a fun behavior analytic podcast that, I'm giving a shout out to if you want to listen.
Great. And then the Behavior Babe site, that's been around for many, many years now.
Yeah.
It's always a good home for a number of resources.
Great. Cool. That's all I got for you today.
Excellent. All right. Well, I think we better go see what Diana's gotten up to in our absence. In the meantime, though, we hope we thank you, actually. First thank you for listening to our preview episode and to the podcast. If you're new to the show, please feel free to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, anywhere you want to download your podcasts. You can subscribe, you can like us, you can leave a review. You can find us everywhere on social media as ABA Inside Track. We have a YouTube page, Instagram, what else? Oh, Facebook and Twitter. You can go to our website, abainsidetrack.com, where you can learn more about the show, find old episodes, and if you listen to the full-length episodes, even apply for continuing education credits, because ABA Inside Track is ACE approved. And you can also feel free to drop us a line at any time for any reason at abainsidetrack@gmail.com. All right. Well, Jackie, I look forward to doing our full-length episode next week on joint attention. Look over there. Over there.
Whoa.
Until then, keep responding. Bye.